Recording on this computer. Yes, this is very important. This is March 23rd, graphic design 237, the day before spring break. And what I want to do here is start out with the projects and go backward in time and review where everybody is at and help them out. So I'm going to start with what is due today. Well, no, it's due on 4/6, but we have maybe some people have logos they want to present, and let me check. Nick, is Nick here? Yes. He has Nicholas. Hello.
Hello.
Did you got my reply?
Yes, I did.
And can we start with your
yeah, we can start with my logo. Sure.
Okay, great. Did you have any questions?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I would love to know what you think about it. So
okay.
Sorry, my dog is.
That's all right.
Scavenging.
So I was trying to find what you submitted. I submitted to you. Oh, I changed this. This isn't what you submitted. But this is what is to be.
Yeah.
Submitted to the box or submitted back to me. This organization to everybody, where you have the logo type, and you scale it so you can see what it looks like small, because logos are intended to be scalable and appear on large applications and small applications. So we need to be able to see what they look like small, just like we did the typography. So I kind of did this for Nick so he could represent it. And this entire process is one of presentation, review, presentation again. So to make it better. So I went and took his logo, and I don't know if I have the original here. I don't know that I have the original. Oh, here it is. This is what Nick sent, and I think it is a really great idea, but I have some criticism on, or critique or recommendations on how to make this better. And if we were in a design studio, this same process would occur, where the designers, and it's usually more than one, will be in a group, and they'll come up with a bunch of ideas and put them on a wall, and there will be a critique, and then they'll go back into their computer desk and rework the critique to refine the ideas, then present it again. And that'll go on more than once. And so I am trying to lead us to do that same kind of process, because it's very much how images and logotype gets created. So Nick sent me this, and I got it. I can't, and I set it up like I just described, where there's one big one, one little one, and I turned it to grayscale, because all logos are designed first in black and white, because they need to be seen, they need to work in black and white, then the color will come afterwards. And I'm just asking for black and white, but after you resolve the form relationships, you could put color on and see what it looks like. It'd be great. But what we're looking for is a resolution where it works black and white. Oh, I forgot to. There's something I got to look this logo up. So here was my criticism, and this is this is, to paraphrase this, this is really a very stable, look at it, absolutely symmetrical logo, when what it's doing is dynamic and asymmetrical in its content, right, Nick?
Yes.
So you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I tried to just keep everything as centered as possible, so that it just was visually appealing. The only thing that would like the only thing is like the drone wings and like the, I'm using air quotes here, but like the air kind of coming off the back of it, are a bit are asymmetrical, but I mean it's part of the whole piece, so it still kind of works, and it's not quite like balanced. Excuse me, on the top, in terms of like it stays within this bound of the box, just not entirely. Like if you look at the wingtip on the left side and everything, it eclipses the bound of the box and the bound of the text, but everything otherwise is like in this kind of tight package, and that's what I was going for.
Okay, so I recommended that it's the content of this is asymmetrical and dynamic because of its not only the title Fast and Free, but what it's doing is flying, through the air. So you are suggesting that this should be a static, stable image rather than an asymmetric and dynamic one. That's how I'm understanding that. Is that right?
No, it should be asymmetrical. I was just pointing out that like it's, while it's very centered, there are aspects of it that are not.
Okay, I get you. I get you, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. But that they are kind of in a supporting role.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I said down here, my critique here was, could it be logo be simpler? And so I thought, now I could and would be have a lot of fun sitting, and I have done this in the past when we're together in the room, sit and draw with you to try to resolve directions. So you end up doing many different copies just on scratch paper to say, to explore solutions. But if I were to do that and try to redesign this, giving you my ideas, it would be solving your problem, and it would be taking the fun out of it for you to try to figure out, is there a better way to do this? So I went and I used a couple of words. I said, could this be simpler? And I used a couple of words rather than form or shape, and reduce this to a wing and a load. So if you could do this as a wing and a load, and what does that mean? Well, that's correlate. That's those like keywords like fast and free are. Could you reduce this to just two things? This is the two. If this were an image logo, would be two. And I counted the number of things that you have going on. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 to 5, at least 5 things, different visual and word elements that are comprising this. Could you get that down to 2? And I thought of and I forgot to look it up, but I thought of a logo that's out there. Where is my browser? And animal, it's a panda logo. And it just came into my head. And I thought, oh, I'll look this up. Panda, because it's really expressive of 2 things. Panda logo world, I think it's here. Maybe it is. There it is. So this right here, it's the box is too tight to see this. You need a little more negative space to really see this. But this is doing only 2 things, using positive and negative space. And it, like Nick logo, it is also an illustration. So this is doing you know, a logo does not need to be an illustration. That is an illustration because you got some motor, a wing, and this is cartoony flying things. And then the load, which is the box. That's very much an illustration. You're illustrating this. And that there is an illustration, but it has recognized the shapes as being the more important than the reference points, because these are drawn so simply. So this is an example of a solution using two elements, black, white, and positive and negative. Nick, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm just trying to think of like how I could strip. I don't want to say like maybe that's a negative connotation, but kind of strip this down so that it's just two aspects, like you said, a wing and a load. And I'm just trying to contemplate how I would do that.
Well,
no, was that? Sorry.
I recommend I recommend that you start off. Everybody starts off with a pencil on paper to do this, and you didn't show me that, and that's not necessary. I got to kind of streamline this process, but that's a way to think this through, rather than then just to start to draw it on a machine. Try to break it down with little sketches on tracing paper or something. And I think that's the best way to not only do logo design, but also to do typography design. Then you put it in as a template, and I'm going to show you everybody how to do that again. And then refine it that way. But you might want to go back to do trying to sketch this thing out and think, what is a shape of, if I was to go, you know, and this is sketching. Sketching a wing. What does a wing look like? I mean, there's a shape, looks more like a smile. See, I'd be doing this on a piece of paper, and it's just easier, it's quicker, you can get an idea. A wing, and here's also where I'm doing this visual demonstration, and I'm stealing your fun. And a load, you want that to be a square, or is it more dynamic to be a rectangle? And does this turn so it's dynamic? There's a wing and a load. Nick, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, it's not going to be my design, but
well, I
definitely need to sit down and sketch it out, because I did not do that with the first one. I just kind of went for like a box and then started building out from there.
Yeah, I would say your process was literal, as in illustrative, rather than, and this here is which is not wrong, but they probably said, let's got a picture of a panda and went from the literal illustrative back down to the formal, so the shapes express the content, the literalness, and that's kind of where I'm trying to guide everybody, where you know, the shapes express the content. That's the same thing with the typography, that the shapes express the content. So here I got these two shapes, and I'm not saying you should do this, but what I'm doing is trying to make an approach and a concept clear, where you're not taking shapes like a comic book illustrator or any other kind of illustrator and making those shapes fit the form. And in fact, the best illustrators understand what I'm talking about, because they do that with their Superman or whatever Marvel Comics illustrations, in the sense of making them dynamic. They fully understand that this here is a frame of a comic strip, um, window. Um, and here is the punch that's coming out. That's the punch, and that's completely just a shape that is here's a fist and here's all the muscles and it's punching, and it's more dynamic than if the punch was like that. You get what I'm, everybody, you get what I'm getting at. So, I mean, that's the basics of those illustrations are the same kind of thinking that I'm trying to get you to do right here. Same with the same with the fast and free. This is, I would say, no, this is not fast and free. Free is more like that. Nick, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I like it. I think I could definitely add some more. Like I could do the text with the logo in a sense, you know, so that slap my mouse, so that it's dynamic on both counts.
Okay, so what this is, this word is free, and what the shapes are doing is free. So the content of the word and the content of the shapes are the same. Whereas I would say that this doesn't do that. So this is going right back to that tutorial, which we're going to get to, where I'm trying to get you to use the letter forms for a expressive content. So does anybody have any comments on what has just occurred? Anybody, please? Nick, are you all right?
Yeah, no, this was actually really helpful. I was a little unsure about what to submit overall, like how simple or complex it should be, which is kind of why I started with a box and then just kind of got more and more complex in my illustration. But this is all like really good stuff, and I have a couple of ideas that I'm going to sketch out and see if I can kind of get the same essence of, like, you know, a robot delivering your package, but in a lot simpler form. So
You could, you know, I can, as another thing comes to mind, you just said robot. So I'm thinking, well, that's got to be a square. I'm thinking digital. And so this is like, you could see, now I'm sitting there. If we were sitting with each other, we'd be doing this in you know, like pixels. How can,
yeah, sure.
Where would that go? This is, I just got my option key down doing this. I mean, that's an idea. It could be, and then the wing or something could be knocked out of this pattern of pixels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, so what you do is you go. I gave you and I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just thinking with you, and where I do that with everybody. I'd like to, but it's really hard to do. But if you send me stuff, everybody, over the break, I'll sit and sketch it out and make my recommendations just like I've done here. But I was thinking, oh, what if the wing, this was a pattern, and the wing was knocked out through the pattern? You know what I mean? That might be a way to go. So there's that way, and then the other wing and load way. So, you know, we thought of two kind of in the beginning ideas that you could experiment with, and I'm sure there's a lot more to do that. But again, it's coming at it from the form first, or getting it so it reduces to the form. So you see this relationship first is my encouragement, rather than, I'm not saying don't make an illustration, because illustrations work, but Mickey Mouse is just like this panda. Mickey Mouse is like 3 circles, and that's Mickey Mouse. So it's very simple. And and one of the guidelines of making logos is to be clear and unique and many times very simple. Of course, we could go and do some more logo research and find all kinds of complex things. But a rule of thumb is to try to deconstruct your idea to its most essence, right? And then once you've found that, you can then add back some decoration if you so choose. But what I'm encouraging is to be able to. You got a bunch of keywords that I have given you. Did you pick some keywords out of Nick?
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but it was like futuristic and something related to just like transport. I think it was the second option.
Okay. Well, everybody can kind of use that as an inspiration and come up with their own. But that's where you start, and what you hold on to is it futuristic. Well, what do the shapes of futuristic look like? The shapes, not the technology. Futuristic shapes. What do they look like? So you draw a bunch of shapes that look like futuristic, or a bunch of shapes that don't look like futuristic, like a Corinthian column. So that's not what I want. I want futuristic. So you use those keywords as a stepping off point to help you think of form, and it's form that you're trying to think of, and the form associates the meaning, and maybe it gets to be illustrative, maybe it doesn't at all. So anyway, that's my kind of what I have to say. Are you all right, Nick, with this?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Does anybody else want to make a presentation on their logo?
No, but I was hoping that we could revisit my shape and type techniques.
Yes.
I'm still not sure.
Yes, I'm going to go through everybody's work, but I wanted to go. I want to go from the most recent and then go back in time, and hopefully cover everybody. But I'm not going to go a same project and go to everybody's project. I'm going to go to. Oh, well, I am in the sense of the next thing I want to talk about is the typography design. So I want to present everybody's typography design and talk about it. And the reason I'm thinking of proceeding that way is because some people are caught up. And when we get down to some of those early tutorials, they don't need to stay here because they've already been caught up. So that'll be up to you, everybody chooses. So I'm going to come up here. Everybody can see my screen. And I've got it, and it's kind of confusing. I've got it, so we're back with, Joseph, are you here?
Yep.
Did you put this in the box?
No, I just sent it to you.
This?
Yeah, I just sent that as a PDF.
Okay, this is really nice. Can you, but I can't do anything with it.
Share screen?
I'm sorry?
You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Can I talk through you? So this is, let's do this first. And I'll share the screen, and then we'll do a, one second. I sent on the back of the last page of your, of the syllabus is this presentation. This is how you present it. Now, I'm going to send you everybody this again. And okay. Now I am looking. See, I got a whole bunch of screens open, and I'm shuffling through those. So Joe, this is great. Look, you did it. You did it almost perfect in terms of how you want to present this. And the reason I'm getting a presentation, wanting you to present it this way, is because it does two of the things that are demonstrated or illustrated or asked for in the tutorials, which is a change of scale and positive and negative space. And you see, I've got a nice space here, so it's not. You can get your eye around this, and it's also. I'm looking at that you name of your new type design that needs a name, and it'd be nice to have your name on it. In the past, we would print these out and pin them up in a hallway and have a critique, and then it'd be a show of typography for everybody that was on the 5th floor. And I've given you approximately 200 points, 1.7 inches high, but it depends upon your type. So please submit your typography design like this, like Joe did here. Now, I got some questions, Joe, to ask you. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, you're the host.
All right.
Oh, I got to stop the share. There we go. You ready? There we go. Okay, you got anybody have any comments on this? You got a type, Joe?
I really like this one.
You like it?
Yeah, I think the A and the O are super cool.
Joe, do you have a name for this?
I didn't have a name
All right, well, come up with a name.
right now.
Well, no.
Okay.
I think you did a great job. Can you I got one question right off the bat. It's that I'll ask this to everybody. When you look at this type, is there one element that stands out more than others? Silence.
Are you asking me?
Anybody?
I think the strike through in the O is definitely the first thing I noticed.
Okay, that's what I guess too. I like to ask because I'll have an idea, and then I want to know if I'm right by asking anybody else. And my theory here is that if you get like 3 people that agree on something, it's usually right, regardless of how old you are or how young you are. It's usually right. So there's some notion of aesthetic continuity in the human psyche. And I see this is that arrow point that goes through the O is dominating everything else. And I would like to see if that could be in harmony with the rest of it. So, I'll look to how that space between the stem and the A, that angled space works as a way to, can we reduce there? Yes. Can we take that concept right there and bring the emphasis of that to be equal to the O? You know what I mean? So I would suggest, can we try that, Joe? So
Yeah.
by doing this, back out and let's go and let's not touch that A. Let's go and take that O and make a copy of it and move it somewhere else, like on another layer or something. And we'll take the eyeball, go down and make another layer next to it there, and go Command C or Control Edit Copy. It's Command C, and then Command V, and there we go. So now let's go look at the go to outline. We don't want to look at that. We want to just look at the O by itself right now. Go to the outline and go view outline. All right, so we got another issue here, is that your this is technical, your shape is lumpy because of all of the anchor points that are going on. And you see, you don't have a ton of them, but you got those anchor points to make that O, that shape, equal. Those anchor points which should be parallel to one another. So, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Go
So
to-
how many do you think is like too much? Like it's 4? Should I just do top?
yeah, that would be the best solution. But go to your open arrow tool, the direct selection tool, and you see this down below. Down that anchor point, right? That's not that anchor point should be right at the bottom. You don't have to do it now. Don't do it now, in fact, because I just want to tell you. Go right at the bottom of the O and right directly, see it's off to the left. You know what I'm saying? Hello.
You mean I should move it to the right?
Right there, that's where it goes. Right there, and directly above it is another one, right there.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
make those parallel to make this entire shape. And you'll have a really finessed, beautiful letter. Right now, because they're kind of staggered, it's lumpy, and you can
Yeah.
refine it. And I can see this, and so I really hope that everybody gets improves their skill in using the path tool, because this path tool shows up all across media in technology. It shows up in every program. Somewhere you're going to find a path tool, and it's really the most precise way to draw. So that's like the main skill set that this class teaches is the path tool, and everything else is just concepts. So let's go, and can we do an experiment here with cutting this sharp angle out and making a gap like the A as an example. So let's get rid of the that arrow for right now, because we're on a copy. So go to your scissors tool. Scissors is underneath the eraser in the toolbox there. Click, hold.
Oh.
That there, scissors. And we want to go and get up to the 2 anchor points toward the stem, but you got to come down below that because you got to cut somewhere else. There. Click. And then again, go to the other side. Click. And now you can go to your selection tool and click the arrow. I call it an arrow, and delete it. Just the line, anywhere in the line. You got to go to the direct selection tool. Click off of it first, and then I'll click. Delete. Delete.
What's the shorthand for delete?
Well, delete is the upper right hand on your keyboard. You got a Mac or a PC?
Mac.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I deleted one line.
yeah, we'll delete the other line. Click, delete. Okay, so now we're gonna go and cut it again on the top. And I'm not quite sure where, but let's cut it. We're not to go to the top rule. I'm thinking
Oh,
of
I
your A.
understand.
What's that? Yeah,
Like-
up there, but let's make it like the A, so it's a bit of an angle. It's not aligned. So you decide where you want to put it. We can always change it.
Oh, like over here.
Yeah, I don't know, somewhere. You're the designer. And then go, all right, click. All right, now delete that center spot. When you go that, you see the keystrokes right on the right, Command X. So you can learn these keystrokes as you go. It'll be quicker. Oops, wrong one. Click there, delete. All right. So yeah, there's that, see that little X? That's a lonesome anchor point. Get rid of that. Delete. All right, so now we want to go,
Two.
no, we need that. Oh, I don't know, is that an extra one?
That looks weird.
It looks weird.
Why is it
But-
that X?
Click and move it. Yeah, you got an extra one. Click there. This is and delete that. Now I got to move it back. This is, you go and you'll finesse all this later. So now go to the bottom anchor points, bottom line, the anchor points that are facing in, not that one, that one. Click it by itself and move it up to the top. Just drag. All right, great. Now you want to go and do the same thing here. All right, deselect it by clicking in space and grab, do a marquee around the top or the bottom. Yeah, like that. Now go to object, path, average, both. Now they're right on top of each other. No, you got it. No. Well, you can do it there too. But you haven't joined them. You got to do 2 steps. Object, path, join. Yay. Same thing there. Okay, so now we can go view, preview. And we got something that is getting there. Maybe it's not quite there, but
You didn't like the strike through?
Oh, Devin, did you like the strike through? Devin, are you there? She's doing something else. Makina, did you like the strike through?
I did. I thought it was interesting.
Well, Devin, let's go and put it back, and we'll take a survey. We've got it. You got to make them so you can see both of them.
Well, can't you see them both?
Well, they're overlapping, and one of them's overlapping a line, and all that stuff counts.
Right.
It is visual form. And it's almost, we need to see all the letters to see if they work together. Do you know what I mean? Because it's really relates to the A. So bring the A up there. Or bring all the letters over there and make them smaller. And we got to be able to compare them all together. You're going to take that rule with you, by the way.
I am. That's okay. No, why is it doing this?
You got them all selected. All right, Command V.
Oh wait, sorry. Oh no. I'm just messing up.
Just delete that. You don't need it.
Why?
Delete, just delete.
Okay, there we go. Wait, let me just go back. It was distorted. Okay, I don't know how to bring the other ones. Maybe we can just do this. Just put this over here. I feel like that looks weird.
Oh,
I don't like that.
well, we got 2 comparisons here.
I thought about doing that, to be honest.
Move the black one that's overlap. Oh, yeah, move that down. So we move it down. Yeah, there we go. Now we got a comparison. You see you see that the width of the gap in the A, that O has got to be similar.
Yeah, it looks more cohesive.
Explain that.
Like the O now matches the A, the slit in the A.
Yes, that's what I was in it. The emphasis is equal. One isn't more dominating another, but
Yeah.
that gap on the O has got to be closer. It's too far apart.
Yeah, it's got to be different.
Well, do you like it or do you not like it?
I like it. I was just trying to do something interesting with the O, but
I think this is better. But
do.
how about everybody else? Can we do a survey here? What do you like, the top or the bottom?
No, I really like the bottom. Like yes, it drew a lot of attention and it was different from the rest of them, but I think it was just like it really brought the aesthetic of the font out.
All right, well, there's one opinion. Got any other opinions out there, please?
I agree. I like the bottom one.
I agree. I do think the top one is cleaner and it looks like more like they belong together.
Okay.
But I'm kind of attached to my stripe here.
Anybody else got a comment? Nobody else has any comments? All right, so I'll do a deal with you, Joe.
Okay.
You want to hear what the deal is?
Sure.
Could you, first of all, on the original you have here, go back and finesse the anchor points so it's particularly, I can notice it on the O.
Yeah,
The rest of them might be all right. See that the cross stroke of the A,
mm-hmm.
Should that cross stroke of the E be aligned with that?
Potentially. Like this should be lower.
Yeah, so it's aligned with that.
Yeah. Or the A higher.
Well, that A maybe but you're going to have a little tight little space on the top, but maybe. Could you look at that? Could you do this? Here's the deal. A, or one, finesse the anchor points, and two, submit a copy of your solution that Devin likes and somebody else, Makina likes, and my solution that I like. Would you do that?
Sure.
And then you'll get as good a grade as you can get.
Okay.
I want to see that gap on that O have the similar amount of white space, negative space, as were that gap on the A.
So it should be smaller.
The gap on the O, yeah, that should be smaller. It should be. See, what I'm trying to do here is, or my suggestion is to make these all I can say is like the rhythm of looking at these letters to be equal in their emphasis, whereas your dramatic O makes a sound that is not is much louder than the A, E, M. Get where I'm going with
I feel
that?
like this is probably better for like a logo or something.
Maybe that, yeah, that yes, I agree. That would be better for a logo. Yes. So are we okay with what we've agreed upon?
Yes.
All right, good job. Thank you so much. You did a great job. And you can send that in. I'm going to send everybody, by the end of spring break, I'm going to send everybody a revised grade so you know where you're at. So I hope to get, everybody will submit their work that they haven't finished. And so I'd like to give everybody an A if I could, but you got to earn it. I don't have problems giving A's, but when I see, it's like, I see something like, oh, that Joe's got the anchor points on the O's, they're clunky. I can't, you know, how could I say it? Well, could you make that better so I can give it an A, please? That's what I'm trying to do. So, but I got to see it. So that means that you got to present it. And you can't, if you wait till the last day of class or last week of class, we won't have an opportunity for this critique, this review, and that's what makes things better. That is the essence of the class. Is it isn't just to do the thing and get it behind you. It's to try to make it better, and that takes a back and forth critique. So do I have the? Is there anybody else out there with their typography that that I'm going to go through what I got, but any new typography that hasn't gotten a critique?
My typography got a critique last class, but I updated it.
All right. Did you resubmit it?
I resubmitted it. It's not in the Dropbox folder, it's in my folder.
In the box.
In the box, yeah. It's
All
in
right.
the
I got to
folder.
remember. I'm going to send everybody submission instructions again, and they are that you got to put them in the box, the drop box, if you're going to submit them to get graded. Because this way I have to go and I'm going to do this. I have to go wading through everybody's folder to find your files if you don't put them in the Dropbox. So everybody, please make it a little easier for me, because look at all these classes I got to deal with. You guys saw 4 different classes.
Professor,
Yes.
so how do you want us to upload them? As PDFs or as the Illustrator?
I'm going to send you in text. I have in the past. It's on your syllabus. The PDF comes to me, jhall@mmm.edu. The Illustrator goes in this box, in the box. So I can go to the Dropbox here, not your file, not here, because I'd have to go through and look at. All right, so
okay.
So if I just open this box up, I can easily identify it. And note, here's a font PDF. I don't know who this is. Font PDF. Who is that?
Should we create different folders for each assignment though? So it's
No,
not
just drop the Illustrator assignment right here, and I'll do the housekeeping, because it's only in one folder that I get everything. But there's Rochelle's pair. That should have been sent to me. Rochelle got credit for it. It's here. It doesn't need to be there because it's a PDF. That is the pair. It's an AI. Okay, that's AI. I was only asking those tutorials to be sent to me as PDFs, but that's fine. It's here. And here is shape technique. Rochelle, are you here?
Yes.
Did you get a reply on the shape technique?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go over, and here's the type techniques. Yay, you did it right. Yay. But I was asking for these in the PDF, but that's all right. Send them to the box. AI, the box, PDF to me. Revised. Grace's revised project 3. And here is Devin's font. See, I got to download this. It doesn't preview. Oh, I have already given you a.
That's not my most recent version.
Oh, well, it's not in the box. You said it was in your folder.
Okay. Yeah, it's in the folder with my name on it, but I can go move it now.
Well, I can move. Since I'm here, I can do that. But then you do it, okay, and put it in the right place. But since we're here talking about it, let me go to search for it. What is it? Letters?
It's the very last one.
All right. All right. So, it's not on the right. The idea, all of this is, all of this is designed for print. This entire class is designed for print, which is printing on paper. And we're doing it all digital. And that is one of the reasons why people are having a hard time with instructions because
Okay.
it's designed to be, the class was designed that you print everything out and you can have the instructions right in front of you. I just realized that because people are saying right now I'm on the art boards and I'm changing the size of the art board. People are getting confused how do you following directions. And I realized just this week it was told to me that it's hard to follow the directions. And I said, why is it hard to follow the directions? They're right there. Well, the reason that I just realized is that I think is that you can't see the directions at the same time you see what you're doing, what it's asking you to do, because it's not in print, it's digital. So to be able to really make it easy, you'd have to print the directions out to have them in front of you. And in fact, that is what happens in the classroom because these little, I'm talking about the tutorial booklets, are really booklets. They're designed to be printed out, to be looked at. And so it's kind of, that's what I think is making it hard. And the reason again is because this whole class was designed for print, not digital. Done in digital, but designed for print. Devin, I'm just opening up the space here so I can see around it. So it's not too tight. You need the eye to be able to go around this. And then that's not necessary. But of course, again, I'm looking for this presentation here.
Excuse me.
This is how you do it. You got to have that scale change. Devin, you got that?
Professor, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, Joseph. I can't hear Devin. Devin, could you unmute yourself?
I didn't say anything, but yes, I can.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Would you mind sending us an updated version of the syllabus? I just not sure where to access that.
It's in your folder.
On Box.
Yeah, I'll show you. Joseph? Oh, I don't see it there. There it is. Joseph, you didn't get it. My fault.
That's okay.
Could you remind me by sending me an email and I'll reply with it attached?
No problem.
Everybody else has got it in their folder. Easy to make a mistake. So here we are. Devin, are you with me? All right, so here's your letters. And the instructions said upper and lower case, either uppercase or lowercase. This is lowercase. Okay, so we got these ascenders, and the reason, okay, that's fine. The reason is that when you got upper lowercase, you got three guides, and lowercase you may just have two. I was trying to make it simple. So here I've got these letters, and I can move those guides so that see that they're all aligned. And I'm going to go and look at, they're looking pretty good. Look at this outline, and I wonder what that is, because that should be open. So I'm going to go over here and view preview and do this and see it is a space And can anybody tell me how to knock that out? It's in your tutorial. Anybody?
Which part is it?
That there is a rule with a fill, and we want a hole here. How do we do that? See, this fill doesn't have a boundary. It's which is a no-no.
Should we
'Cause
do
you-
compound path?
See that?
A Pathfinder tool.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the problem here is it's not going to work because there's no path right there. It's a fill, an open fill, which is a no-no for Illustrator. You got to have it. You want as much as possible. You want your paths closed. So I'm going to go and make this work. I'm going to come up here and see that slash. That means I'm engaging this. And I'm going to close it. See that circle? That means I'm closing the path. And now I'm going to put it back. And I'm going to go, there's more than one way to do this. Pathfinder tool, we can do that. Pathfinder is out here somewhere. Right there. And what is it? That one? Yes, that one. All right, straight from the tutorial is how to do that. Okay, so let's go outline and let's look at these anchor points. There's a little bump right here. And here is a nice circle. Perfect. Not perfect. Do you want to make it perfect? I'd like you to see you make it perfect. And so I'm going to go and do that. First of all, I'm going to stretch that out so it's even. I'm going to move that. And what I want to do is move it. And I'm eyeballing this because this circumference is much larger than this tighter one, which is right visually, because all the stuff ends up being a visual aesthetic decision. You only give yourself rules so you can then come back and say, do I like this or I like this? Do I not like this? And you let your aesthetic judgment make the final decision. But you want to give yourself rules to start with because you're making a game up from nothing. And the rules start with the keywords, and then you try to follow it. And you're making this game up, and you're trying to organize this stuff. And I suggest you do it by being reductive in saying, what are my elements? How can I get my elements down? And if you're really making rules for yourself to follow, and then in the end, it gets to be purely an emotional decision if you like it or not. And that's where the creative connection comes between creating something and responding to it. Something's wrong there because there's two lines going on here. So I'm going to come up here and go view, preview, and find out what's wrong here. You got two paths. You got a and this one here, and there's another one. And which one is the best one? They look like they're duplicate. And then I got what? What's that? View, outline. That is a perfect. That's perfect. View, preview. And it is a hole. So how did you get that, Devin?
I used the rounded rectangle tool to make the bases for all my shapes, and I traced them with the pen tool.
Yeah, but you got a hole here in this type, and you didn't have it. You see how you can see this? You see that through it? That means there's a hole there. So you knew how to get this Pathfinder or clipping mask.
When I used the shape building tool. So I
Beautiful.
used the shape builder, and then since I didn't select that, then it just made that the hole.
Beautiful. The shape builder did it. Oh, what a wonderful tool. I didn't realize how great it was until recently. We're going to go over that. I'm going to go over that again. So you don't need these. I don't know why you did them. You don't need them, right? No, delete. So where is my guides again? View. Guides. Command colon. Oh no. Normal screen mode. Here's presentation mode, by the way. I hit escape and it comes down to normal screen mode. And here's full screen mode. There's different modes, but there's a guide. Oh, maybe when I made those new artboards, I don't know, I lost my guides. Okay, so I see that there's some letter spacing issues. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oops. Got to get the entire. That's better. So I'm gonna look at this one. All right, so Devin, tell me how to fix this. That's got to be a whole.
I would use the shape builder tool.
All right. Perfect. All right, so now we got an issue here. Same thing, I think. Well, you got one on top of another. And another one, for some reason. And that is a hole. That's great. So,
yeah, those extra ones are probably just because I use the shape to draw.
all right, well, who knows? But now it's perfect. This is good, Devin. Wow. So we're really finessing here. We're really now finessing. You see this curve right here, Devin? Say yes. See that one? Say yes.
Yes, I do see it.
You see this one?
Yeah.
It's different. Should it be the same as this?
No, I did that intentionally because I like the way it looked better.
Why? It's such a small difference.
Yeah, when I made the difference, I don't know, it just didn't look right to me. So I made it this way instead.
Okay, well, my suggestion is that if you have a shape and you want to have another shape like that, and it is in this shape is just a little bit different, that looks like a mistake. The difference between here and here doesn't look like it was intentional. It looks like it was a mistake. So to make it so doesn't look like it's a mistake, it has to have enough contrast to be, and this applies to anything. Now that does not look like a mistake. You get where I'm going with this? That looks intentional. This, to me, does anybody agree with me or disagree with me? Looks like a mistake. Like that curve should be the same as this curve. And this, just like the same relationship here, big curve, little curve. So that's the same relationship, big curve, little curve, because your difference, again, is not, the contrast isn't great enough. It looks like this, which is a mistake. It doesn't look like this. Does everybody understand what I'm trying to get at? Silence. What is that? How's that song go? Silence is golden. Simon and Garfunkel. That old song. Makina, what do you say? Anything? You agree with me? You follow
Yeah.
along?
Yeah.
Okay. Devin? Is that
Yes, Professor.
okay? If you know, if you want to, if you disagree, let me know. But I think that if I'll make you, if it's that important that you think it should be that way, I'll give you the same deal as Joseph. Keep it like that, but then make it work like you're doing here. You know what I mean? Because this is working. And here, this here is there's an issue here. Can you do everything I've done here? Can you do yourself now, Devin?
I don't know how to change it into the print view, turn to portrait instead of landscape.
All right. Change your artboard.
Yeah, it was like the first thing you did. You said it should be set up for printing. I don't know how to do that.
Well, I was giving you an explanation on the rationale or the problems with the instructions. I set it up for print, which was how I've done this in years past, and it's digital. I'm not trying to get you to set it up for print. I just set this up to 8.5 by 11 because that's what you can print out, not a 17-inch by 14.
So it doesn't matter if I submit it this way in landscape mode?
This is portrait mode, and I made
Yes, you put it in portrait mode. When I turned it was still in landscape mode. So that's what I'm asking. Is it okay if I submit it in landscape mode or?
No, put it in portrait mode, and I'll show you how to do that again. It'll be here on the video. But first of all, I want to come up here and adjust your anchor points. And what I ask you to is if you understand all of this, so I can let you do it instead of me just doing it for you. Do you know what I mean?
I understand the anchor points.
All right, so here I'm getting rid of these anchor points that are not necessary. But with this minus tool. And then I'm going to view preview. And then I'm going to move this one over so it meets. And you have a stroke on your letters here. You see that stroke right there? And that stroke is making this thicker than it needs to be. All you need is a fill. So I'm going to take this off. You see how then I can use these guidelines to perfectly align this stuff?
Okay. How do you make the guidelines stay? Like I know how to pull it out, but it only, like it won't be visible after I unclick.
Command : hides the guidelines. Command : view shows the guidelines. View, guides, hide guides, and this toggles back and forth. Hide guides, there's the hidden, view, guides, show guides, and there's a keystroke right there. All this stuff is keystrokes. Guides, show guides. That answer your question? No?
No, I'm trying it and it's not working.
Can you pull a guide out?
Yes, I can pull it out, but it doesn't stay.
And it just disappears.
Yes.
View, guides, toggle.
View, guides. See, when I click on the guides, it says hide guides.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when you go back and click on it, it'll say show guides.
Guides, show guides. Okay, so now I pull it out from the corner. Yeah, it doesn't stay. You know, I do the whole thing, I pull it out. That's how I like did the assignment, I pulled out the guides to like check it, but they don't stay. So after I fixed it, I would have to pull out the guide again to check it.
Huh.
Even though the show guides, like if I click it again now, it will say hide guides because it says like it's already showing the guides.
Can you see my, I went up here to Illustrator preferences. Could you do that?
Okay, Illustrator. I'm sorry, what was it under?
Under the word Illustrator preferences.
The word Illustrator.
Well,
Where's
look at my
that?
screen. Look at the screen.
Sorry, I'm trying to do it and I can't watch your screen and look at my screen at the same time.
Oh,
So how did you, okay, Illustrator, I don't have that section, I don't think. Yeah, there's nothing, I don't have that in the corner that says Illustrator.
well, that's your, if you have the software on open, you're going to see it'll say Illustrator because it's telling you what the what it is. Where
Yes,
you're at.
mine doesn't have that. You see, it's right next to the file. Mine doesn't have that. It just says file. There's no Illustrator next to it.
I'm not going to be able to see the top of your screen either, but here, I'm going to make you, I'm going to give it over to you and make co-host and let me see your screen.
Okay. So I have this here. This is where your Illustrator was.
Click on the AI.
It just does the minimize and maximize.
Why? Click there. Click on the house. That's home. What does it do?
The home brings me here.
All right, go click back on the AI. That should take it back. So show me, view, pull a guide out first.
So I pulled
That's not a guide, that's a 0, 0. That's the area problem is. That 0, 0, I gotta show everybody again, they're getting confused. That resets your ruler, go to a number. Now, no, down, up, down, anywhere on the ruler except for the top left-hand corner.
So here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
woo-wee.
This way.
This is like the problems, you know, that ought to take like a split second if we were together. And now it took us this long to figure that one out. So anyway, so there you
I
go.
can pull them out and
Pull
how
out.
do I do the guide once it's put there? Can I
Well,
change it?
now go to view guides, unlock guides, view guides, unlock guides. There, now it'll move.
Oh,
Go down to put the guide down at the baseline.
guide at the, what's the baseline?
It's the bottom of the letters. You did that anatomy of type. You should know what that is. That's in the tutorial. I'm going to go over that again. So all those letters should set right on the baseline. They're a little bit off. And the letter spacing is off as well. So you'll fix that. Anyway, all of this is in this recording. You can go back and review it if you need be, and because we don't need to do that right now. It's all, I've done it here. So I'm going to get the share screen, get this back. So we're set here, Devin. And what I want to demonstrate here is how to resize in Illustrator, how to make this an 8.5 by 11 page, and so that you can print it out on your home printer or go to Kinko's or Staples if you would like, because all of this in the end is a design to be printed out. So I'm going to go over here to Artboard, there's the artboard right here. This is to do this. And I want to go to this flyout, artboard options. And there is where you had it, your artboard was like, I don't know, 20 by 10, something like that. And okay, there, and that's what you're, and then you had this all scaled up large. Now, see, I scale this, I'm going to move the guides, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to view guides, lock guides, and I'm just going to scale the imagery. Yours was scaled up and like that, and all I did to scale it down was highlight it and hold my shift key down, scales in proportion. I scale it down so it fit a artboard options, a 8.5 by 11. So I did this 3 times, and there, that's what is asked for. And the reason is that you can print it out. And of course, you got to go and duplicate this and scale it down. Oops, I didn't duplicate it. Duplicate this, option, drag or object, duplicate, shift, scale down. They have a small one, and this is how you present it. And then you have to have a name. What's the name of this font, Devin? You got a name? No name. You all right?
Yeah, I just haven't thought of a name yet.
Okay. You got any more questions on this? I know we got questions on some other stuff, but you're all right with this?
Yeah, I can figure out the rest of it.
Okay. Well, you got the video to help.
Okay,
But this
thank
is
you.
good. This is good. Can you just make these finesses that I've, and if you want to give me 2 copies, one with the this curve like that curve and the other, or I can just curve and move the D over just so you show that you did it, because I think that's a better solution. And that kind of finessing is everything. It's everything to our process here. So is it everything? It's close to everything. You have to be very precise to be
Yes, sir. Thank
successful.
you.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'm not saving this. It's up to you to replicate it. Oh, here it is. Don't save.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have typography to show? Talk about. Nobody, no takers. No takers. So what I'm going to do here is locate my folders, and I'm going to go through everybody's site because I want to show off all the Joe. We talked about Joe's font, and we're going to come back to Rochelle, and do you want, Pedro, do you want to say anything about your typography? Pedro, are you there? So we'll just look at his. I don't know where it is. What did I? This is, I made some, just so everybody knows, I'll do this for everybody. I made some suggestions. I think he's got a really great font. It reminds me of something to do with Hungary in the 19th century, or Bulgaria or something. I don't know, the style of this is crazy, but it has a real consistentness about its uniqueness. And so I think it's pretty good, but there was a bunch of suggestions I had, which was, it's all just finessing. Like this here, I did one as an example. This here is not symmetrical with the bottom, it's off. So I use these guides to show that. And I wonder, why is that stepping up? And why is this not the same thickness? You see where I'm going? I'm doing this to everybody. And so I'm making these notes here that to ask about. And then I made a one that was symmetrical, which is it doesn't lose a character. I'm not trying to tell you change your inspiration. I'm trying to just refine it. And I made this thickness here to be the equal to that thickness, and it should be that way throughout, I believe. And now I couldn't. He sent me a PDF, so I couldn't see the anchor points, but I can see from the shape that there's an anchor point there and there's an anchor point there, and it's making this kind of straight lump. And there's an anchor point there, and the anchor point should be here and here, and to make this perfect, there should be one. Well, there's 3 anchor points there, but then these should be parallel, and that should be parallel. And that's what I did. I made one, and I split it. I made a reflection, and then I joined it. And so that's where Pedro's at right now. And anybody got any comments on this? You all right with this? Okay. And I hope that he comes back and refines that, because it's really a strong typography. Just needs to be finessed. So I'm going to come down here, typography design. Oh, Dariana, are you here? She's not here. Well, she'll look at the video. Let's open it up, see what it looks like. There's a sketch, and I responded. So great, there's a great sketch. It's got a good start. I responded to it. And here's what I did. It's showing up in my, it didn't show up here. Open with, could not find a link screenshot. All right, so I did, this is where she started. Just to remind us. That, and so I put it in, and what I did is that I put it in here and started measuring it, because these are all different widths, and I determined there's 2 different widths. That's that width, and that width, and this width. So they should be, everything should be conform to those 2 widths. And this is following the concept of deconstructing to find out what it's made, what it's made out of. And this is also kind of leaning this way. So I would suggest that this gets brought in and redrawn. I'm looking for my layers. Window layers. Oh, they're way down here. Sorry. I've got too many palettes out here. And so that this, I'll lock this, so that this, this, by the way, see that X? That means I got my caps locked on it. That makes it more precise. There's the icon, just so you know. If you got your caps locked on any of these tools, you'll get a precise pixel spot for the pixels. So what I want to do is, I'm going to make this a color, is simply redraw this, and I want to come down to the baseline so that it's the same. I got the same width. It'll be like right there. And then this would be the same width. And of course, this has got to come down to the baseline. And I'll make that just so you see it. I'm doing this for Dariana, even though she isn't here, because I think she'll look at it. So it looks like that. And of course, this has to be, and then this would have to straighten out. Oh, I could do this and then use this fabulous new, I could do this. And where does it get straightened out? Does it go to this, that, use a baseline? I'm working on a grid here. And is it, now I got to get, I'm estimating on its thickness. But it's got to be shift keyed out. Shift key makes a perfect straight line. See how that goes? I got my shift key down. See how that clicks up on that? That'll be a perfectly straight line up. I don't want that with the shift key up. So, and then this also, by the way, this is, I'm going to take this, it should be filled. Oops. Fast. Oops. Fast. Shift, click, and I'm going to fill it with, oh, I got the stroke on. I want nothing on the stroke. I'm going to fill, I'll just make this a color, just fill it. And then I'm going to go and just demonstrate how this fabulous, so there, that would be, if this width is consistent with that width consistent, and we got a style idea, and I'm going to go and see if I can make this, what is it, option? Ooh. I'm just dragging it. Oh, how easy is that? That cleaned up all of those anchor points, and made me a perfectly fine example, except for my base. These aren't perfectly on the baseline, but I can make that work. And so Dariana, could you do this on the break and make these letters beautiful, consistent, the width same? You got a good idea here. There's the idea. There it is. But now I got to do the rest of these that conform to that A. All right, that's Dariana. Any comments? All right with that? Oh, I think I'll save that. Save it to my computer here. All right. Let's Dariana. And now, Devin, we did Devin.
Professor, I have an issue. I was trying to fix what we just talked about. Can you look at it real quick?
You want the screen?
Yeah, I clicked something. It's not something we've talked about. I just don't know how to get rid of it.
Okay, so, oh, you are already the co-host, so there you go.
Okay. This thing here, I clicked this button, the perspective tool, grid
Yeah,
tool.
you're
I
in
can't
the,
figure out how to get rid of it.
go to view. We're looking for,
Perspective grid,
yeah, hide grid.
hide grid. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, well, that's good. Everybody knows how to do that now. So I'm forgetting who I've covered. Oh, Nick, are you there? Nick, you're here.
Yep, sorry.
Did you, I sent you this, oh, there is a monogram. Very weird. That's not what I want to do. I sent you a comments on this, didn't I?
On the monogram?
No, on NCIE.
Yes.
Have you done anything with that?
The last thing I did was I adjusted the C so that the corners were a bit sharper, and that's kind of all I did since our critique. Well, and I, kept used the ruler tool to make the width even.
So this is my last response, is that right?
Yes.
Did you have any questions on this?
No, it was pretty straightforward, and comments were really helpful in giving me like a good guide to figure out what I needed to change.
Okay, so all these red and purple shapes are just measuring devices. That's all they are, right?
Can you share your screen so that I can see?
Oh, I'm not sharing a screen?
No.
You got to tell me that.
Let's see. Oh, no, I didn't receive this.
You didn't?
No. Let me see. Did you send it as an Adobe Illustrator file?
Yes.
Okay, then I have it right here. Let's see.
See, this is right, exactly what I want to do is go over everybody, where everybody's at.
Yeah, no, I didn't see this one.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I'm opening it up right now.
All right, well, take a look at it. I'm measuring the widths of everything, and they should be consistent. And you got two widths that that should somehow be consistent. Do you see that on your screen?
Yeah. So what's the best way to go about, because I was just kind of eyeing it with the ruler and the guides. Is there an easier way to get it to like snap into a certain length aside from just like, I guess, filling it in a setting?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
There, I'm fixing the C for you. I'm using this little device, measuring device, that is just something I use. I gotta unlock that. So I'm gonna move that down. Whoops. Use the right tool, open arrow tool. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Then of course, those do line up. Perfect. Perfect. And then these line up. Perfect. And that ought to go Yeah, that ought to go like this. Oh. There's something wrong here.
Yeah, I see it.
How do we fix that?
We could
I'm gonna hear. Go ahead.
probably grab like for starting with the bottom one, grabbing the anchor point and just snapping it up to the line
There.
guide. Yep, and then doing the same thing with the anchor point on the top, just bringing it down.
All right. That'll do it.
And then
Right?
Yep, exactly.
Well, I kind of like that, but I want to go and I want to show, I want to demonstrate just for demonstrations that is to do a mirror. So everybody knows how to do this. You want to mirror this. This is what I did for Pedro. So I'm going to go and I'll try to do this kind of quick. I'm going to cut this, not on the anchor point, but right next to it. And then I'm going to delete this. Then I'm going to take that and object, transform, reflect, horizontal, copy, and then bring this down. And then I got to come up here and fix this. I got to get really close to see what I'm doing because that's the issue right there. So I want to come here and delete this. I want to come here and delete this. And I want to bring these together. And I'm going to highlight it. You go to object, path, and I know they're right on top of each other, so I can just go to join. Same thing over here. I go Command Z. I'm just checking, making sure that there's no extra anchor points. Command Z. I'll bring this, put it right on top of each other. Make a selection. There. Object, path, join. Perfect. So that was just a demonstration. I kind of like your previous solution of just bringing it down. You decide what you want to do. Okay.
Will do.
And all right, so this is kind of the second time around on this, and you're almost ready to roll, right?
Yeah, I think I'll make that a adjustment, or maybe.
Well, you gotta adjust this as well.
I was gonna say yeah, but the biggest thing is getting these widths right because
yes,
they're not
right.
the same.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna read this over since I just opened it up. So
okay, great. Anybody got any issues? Let me know because I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be working all week on this stuff and other stuff. So here we are. So there's a logo, Makina, or not a logo, a monogram, illegible monogram. Yay! The point being is that we're discussing, thinking about legibility, illegibility, and the form that how form relates to legibility and illegibility, proving to ourselves that the legibility is all in our heads and the form exists by itself as an abstraction, and we give legibility to things. That's the philosophical idea. That's why I'm trying to get you to do illegible monogram, just so we know that there's reasons for these things. I believe I want to be able to express them to you. Now, Makina,
Yes.
do you have you submitted this?
The logo.
The type.
Yeah, I got my credit for the typography.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. I don't see it in my folder. Is it in the? Did you put it in the box? Should be in the box.
Yes, it would be in the box.
Let's go to the box. Oh, what's wrong? By the way, everybody that is on doing this typography tutorial in the anatomy of typography, you want to know what those terms are. It's right here in your folder. So May 18th, May 17th. I think that one's it. All right. This is the final one?
Yes.
And you went and did another round of making these anchor points, finessing these anchor points. Is that correct?
Yes.
And all I did, besides all I did is move this so it's in the center. And I kind of move it down so there's space on the top, right? And isn't this lovely? You did this review twice, right?
Yes.
To make the finesse the type, and
Yep.
This one's better.
Yes.
All I'm doing right here is being sensitive to negative space. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little more negative space around here. So that looks better, right?
Yes.
Nice job. I'm just reviewing. See, it's very hard for me to remember everything because there's so many. It's such there's so much stuff. So give me 1 second because I'm reviewing where we're at here. Now my computer. All right. All right. So this is a finished deal, right, Makina? Good job.
Yes. Thank you.
I just finesse it for you. But the only thing you're missing is a name. You got a name?
Okay. I don't, but I can
All right.
come
We'll
up
think
with
of one.
one.
We'll think of one, and we'll finish the project.
Okay.
Come up with a name. Send it to
Okay.
me. All right.
I will. Yep.
I'm going to save this because this is. See what I'd be doing here. I'd put the name on. We'd pin this up on the wall, and then everybody get it. It'd be in a show. You know what I mean? We can't do that. All right. So how's your logo going on?
It's coming. I've started a few sketches, some ideas, so I'm gonna just try and work some of them out on Illustrator and see what I like.
Are you going to send them to me when you're ready?
Yes.
This is due when we come back, right?
Yes.
But if you send it to me, I'll do what I did to, what you've seen other students, and I'll give you a write-up, a critique, and then you can
Okay.
refer to it,
Cool.
right? I mean, I find this is fun. I enjoy doing this. So, oh, Ryan. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good. Hi.
Hi, Mr. Font PDF. You see the screen?
Yes. I'm pretty sure. I thought we already went over mine.
I think we did, and you got a grade. Did you get a grade?
I haven't checked Blackboard.
Oh, it's not on Blackboard. I sent it to you.
Oh, yeah, I did get that.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is let everybody, this is a pretty nice job. And I can't, I'm compelled to, if I see something that doesn't work, I'm compelled to say something. But this is, of course, I'd say, why not a little space here for your eye? And how come this is a landscape instead of a portrait? But everything else, and I didn't knock your grade down because of those two things, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
But everything else looks great. And then what's the name of this font?
I'm pretty sure I just named it Erna because it's just IRNA.
All right, Erna is its name.
Like literally.
Okay. All right. So how about your logo? Did we talk about that?
I have some of it done. Yeah, I can show you.
You want to show us right now?
Yeah, I could. Do you want me to share my screen?
You're a co-host.
Okay. This is what I have so far.
Well, that's a logo type.
Right, I'm not done yet.
This is nice. What does it remind you of? Anybody? Nobody has any comments? It reminds me of the Tostada logo.
I'm not familiar.
That it has a lot of kind of funness about it. Maybe it's also because it sounds like something you eat. Fryatus?
It's this is confusing. That was like supposed to be an exclamation point, but it's Froats, which is supposed to be like for real oats. I'm basically just like making up this oat milk company.
Okay. Well, it looks like an eye upside down, but it's still
I know.
wheat. So if it's an eye upside down, it works.
Yeah.
It's up to you. But that works. I like that. I like that quite a lot.
Yeah.
Nice job. Any other comments? Anybody? Nobody has anything to say. Well,
I like how now that he said it's an oat company, I like how it's like the O's. Like and then it's mirrored.
Right. So Ryan, you got any keywords?
No, I do not. Not yet.
Well, you shouldn't. You heard my explanation about your keywords are your starting point.
Yeah, I know.
And the keywords here from looking at this is there's something happy about it, and there's something fun about it, and there's something it's a lyrical tune if it were music. So I'm bringing my own associative keywords to them, and I'm throwing this out again because it's a way to think through things. If you can say, well, what do these shapes mean? And you must have a feeling for them because otherwise you couldn't make them, right?
Yeah.
There's a kind of a fun thing about it, but there's also something about the A center and the D center baseline, everything's kind of locked together. So, so that's another reading of this, of something that's really solid and locked together, but still with a joyful expression that's happening. And I'm wondering if the S has got a, are those in the counters of the S, are they circles? Maybe they should be. Right.
Oh, this is the letter I had. I just have trouble making S's with the pen tool, but I just made it with the pen tool literally without.
Yeah, but maybe those maybe the counter on inside of the S is actually a circle, because if you're asking for that. This is the only suggestion I have. See where your cursor is, and don't use that pen tool. That you're in a freehand pen tool. That's not what we're working on. We're working on that pen tool. So those, see that's not a circle. It could be a circle. So it echoes the circles of the other font. You see where I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Move your pen to the right. Inside that. That there is not a circle. It could be a partial circle, right?
Right.
Okay. So you got this going on. You're almost finished with this. It looks great. But how about a logo? This is the logo type. What are you going to do with that?
That's what I'm still trying to figure out. Because I want to, isn't it possible for me to incorporate the logo type into the actual final product of the logo?
I'll rephrase that. It's possible for you to integrate the logo into the logo type. Isn't that what you asked?
Right, yeah.
And the answer is yes, but it's much harder than having them two separate elements. But yes,
Okay.
you can put it in, see what you can do. Do so. What is it going to be?
I don't know yet. I'm still figuring that out.
All right, I got ideas, but I can't tell them to you.
Give me suggestions. I have an idea.
I think your solution is going to be. Oh no, I don't think that. I don't want to be deterministic. Is the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you're having the fun, but I would. My first direction would be to emphasize the O's, the circles, and then if you carried those forward in some way, you'll find a solution.
Okay.
Because
So
that's kind of it's not only a making a counters of a letter, it's a shape in itself.
yeah.
And what do oats look like? I'd go back to the what does a physical oat look like?
It's kind of just like a circle, maybe a oval. It's kind of abstract.
The natural material,
Wait.
oats, hay, grain.
Right, yeah, it's like an
Okay, well, at any rate, I asked that because I would go back and actually look into the natural aspect of what it looked like, because maybe there'll be a design solution where you could take the O, the circle, and incorporate it into an association to the plant itself as a graphic. Maybe not, maybe not.
Okay.
There's, the tutorial said, do something asymmetrical and find it in nature. Well, if you go out now and find what an oat looks like in nature, you could go back to the abstraction of the primitives, which is what these circles are, primitives, and say, how can I make that natural thing, oat, into a primitive?
Right.
And that's exactly what's going on. And that was a driving idea behind that tutorial, that aspect of that one tutorial shape. But you're doing great here. Good job. Yay.
So, you think I should just make, I'm a bit confused. Like I should make a logo completely separate from my logo type and not involve the name of what the logo stands for.
I think that you should do both ways. How's that? And that's
Okay.
how logos are made. Okay, well, let's do that. Yes, try that one. Then do another one where it's incorporated into the logo type, like that with your
Okay.
suggestion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
That's how you solve these problems. You do versions, one version, this version, that version, and you could, we could go and spend a lot of time exploring this. But this, of course, this class is just trying to do a little of this, a little of that, and cover a whole bunch of different things. So I'm not asking you to do a deep research, but you have an opportunity because you've asked about it yourself to do more research by doing one version and try another version. So I encourage that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Good job. All right, moving along here. Ryan. Grace, you want to say anything today or did you go?
I'm still working on the logo, but I think everything else I've turned in.
Yes, yes, you have. That's your type. Again, I don't want to make some space here, but, and there is a name, decorative bold. Yay, good job. You got your grade, you got that job finished, right?
Yeah.
All right, do you want to talk about the logo or not?
I'm still working on it, but I'll send you what I have in a little bit.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so all right. Anybody else have anything to you want to bring up? Devin, you do.
Yeah.
We're at that stage now of going back to the tutorials. Are we ready to do that?
Yep.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do, how much time do we have in this class?
We have 51 minutes left.
51 minutes, max 51 minutes. So what I want to do here is, and if you have finished your tutorials, you don't need to stay because you're done. You can go work on your logo type. Okay, because I'm just going to go over, the tutorials. And I thought I had them loaded up. But I don't, so I got to go find them again. So start with, and I think what I'll do, rather than go through every one separately, I'm going to go through the presentation again from the beginning. And if Devin or anybody else, if you have any questions, stop me and ask me, because this is your time to do that so we can get past this.
With these, I'm more just confused because I've met with you a couple times and
Yeah.
we've gone through and corrected them. So I'm still not sure what's not correct anymore.
All right, so that means I should go and look at yours.
Yeah.
All right. We should start with, what do we start with? The shape techniques. Can you see my screen?
No.
No. See, you gotta speak up, everybody. I don't know. I can't tell. You can see my screen or not. Anyway, so
Now I can see it.
all right. So this is where we left off. So again, I'm gonna go and
This isn't the most recent version.
All right, we got to go to the most recent version.
I'm just going to re-upload it to the Dropbox.
Okay, well, you didn't send it to me apparently. I got this March 19th.
I'm re-uploading it to the Dropbox. Okay, so the shape techniques is in there, and now the type techniques is in there too.
Okay, let's go look at it.
No, it's in the Dropbox.
Oh, see, I get confused. That's why I Dropbox. That's where it should be, is in the Dropbox. Today, we'd start with the shape techniques. Now I got to download it. And there it is. But I want to I want to bring up the shape techniques, the original. And we'll compare. See these instructions. These instructions, if the confusion is that it's hard to, and I recognize this now, if you don't print this out and have it in front of you, it's hard to take this information and go way down here and apply it to. So I see what the issues were. Scale change. All right, well, let's go up here and start from the top. I think that we clipping mask. And if I was to go object, clipping mask, release, yes. Okay, so that all of this works. Dynamic, static. So I want to go and make a point here first, very quickly. Everything has a boundary. So this boundary is a billboard. This boundary is a business card. This boundary is a brochure. That's a three-page brochure. This boundary is a magazine. That's a magazine spread. No, they all have edges. They all have a rule. And everything I do on this billboard, business card, brochure, magazine spread, is the first thing that's going to be in relation to is its edge. And for that reason, I just wanted to point that out. For that reason, because everything does this, the only thing that doesn't do it is a logo, because this logo is bound by its own relationship within that shape. And on a billboard, it's big. On a letterhead, oops. On a letterhead, it's small. And in a brochure, it's another scale. And so that logo has to work on all of these scales, big, small, medium, medium, right? But they all relate to the, you relate to the edge. That logo happens to be dead center, and this one is, which is symmetrical, and this one is asymmetrical because it's in the corner. Anyway, that was just a quick, big overview of what is driving the reasons why we have these rectangles. Is that all right, Devin? Go over that.
Yes.
So that means this moon is not, the border of this moon is not here, it's here. So if I want to make this symmetrical, I set it right dead in the center. That's symmetrical, right? But this isn't, the picture doesn't stop here, it stops here. You got that, Devin?
Yes.
All right, now if I
So-
wanted to actually say I don't want this space in here, I'd do this. I would come up here and object, I think I got to arrange this, send the back, and then highlight this, both of those, and go object, clipping paths, make. There, perfect. Got that, everybody? That's what the clipping path was about in the beginning of this tutorial. All right, so this is symmetry, static, yes. And it's a concept we're dealing with, not illustrating the moon or this lake. Asymmetry, so asymmetry is, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go and highlight, well, no, I'll make this just simple. Just be simple, Jim, okay, simple. That's asymmetry. Keep it within the border. I could have overlapped it. That's asymmetry. That is asymmetry dynamic. Well, because it's kind of in the middle, I can make it more asymmetrical. This is, that's the size of the picture. So more asymmetrical, I'd have to go do this and hold my shift key down, make that larger. And then object, no, but object arrange, send the back, and then highlight both of them, object, clipping path, make. And there, you see that's more asymmetrical because it's not, that's symmetry. This is asymmetry because the angle is going this way, angle is going that way, right? Symmetry, asymmetry.
Yeah.
Okay, so scale change. So yeah, the scale change, and I suppose the scale's changing here and here as well. It'd be more, you see how I'm considering it, this is part of the image? That scale change as well, right? Or again, I could go, this is holding my shift key down, and object, arrange, send it back, and object, clipping path, make. There's scale change. There's scale change. Beautiful. So I could do the same here, static pattern if you didn't want that, because I'm trying to get you to think of the border, and I don't believe you're thinking of the border when you're just floating this stuff inside. That's why I did this 3 times. Static pattern, yes. Static pattern, yes. Dynamic repetition, yes. Because it's at a corner, and it's dynamic because the repetition is big, little, little, big, little, little. That's repetition. It's dynamic. Same here, right? Emphasis of negative space. So that emphasis of negative space. So that I understand that this is a little more of a psychological decision, but the negative space, I see it as black. Emphasis of positive space. The black is the positive space here, and the black is the positive space here. I see it that way. Transformation of a primitive by overlap and scale change. Transformation of a primitive by overlap and scale change. There's overlap and scale change. we're doing only fills, so that should be a fill. There's overlap and scale change. I don't get that, Devin. What is that? I like the image.
That's the primitive. And then what's next to it is the transformation of it.
Oh, this you're saying is the primitive, and that's the
Yes,
transformation.
the first square.
No, I'm not
on the
talking about,
right
I'm
side.
talking about what's highlighted here, this nature study.
Yes, the first one is supposed to be the primitive, and then the second one is like an overlap. Like it looks like two of them have been overlapped.
All right, I buy that. What about scale change?
I guess there's not a scale change.
So is there a way to do that?
Is there a way?
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure
Is there a way for me to separate this image into two? And then I could make the first one small and make the second one big.
All right, so here I'm gonna go, let me move this over here somewhere. And I'm gonna bring this small. That's the and the scale change. Then I'm gonna go and get a rectangle. And highlight both of these, shift and object clipping path, see if this works. Make, yes. Now I'll go, just very simply, I could do the same thing, or I could just go in here and make this white and have no, yeah, I want that a filled white. And then object, arrange, bring in front. There, that does it, right?
Yes.
It's just you and me, it looks like. But this
Yeah.
is still, I'm still giving this information out because there's people that have not handed this stuff in that will get something out of what we're doing right now, because this is all being recorded. So this is valuable. And I'll send an email to everybody, say, take a look at this, because this is, I'm explaining everything. So hierarchy of visual information. And there's words up here, and I understand why people got, and I just realized why people got confused with this, following these instructions, because they're way up front. They're not in front of you, printed out as it would have been in class. Establish 1 6 by 6 inch square. And that clearly articulates hierarchy of visual information. 3 definitions should be evident: dominant, supportive, and inconsequential. So now I'm going to go down here, because that explanation is to be illustrated, presented here. And so what's this?
That's it's supposed to be a tree. That's supposed to be the.
I don't care. I'm talking about, just by the way, I understand it looks like a tree, but I'm looking at shapes. I'm trying to get everybody to think about shapes as conveying content in themselves, right?
Yes. So
this is
that
dominant.
is.
This is dominant.
Yes, dominant.
This is supportive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's inconsequential. And that even is more inconsequential, because they don't have a relationship, right?
Well, I meant what's supposed to be the sun, as that was supposed to be supportive, because it's the tree and you see that's the nature that goes with it. So
Right.
In my mind, that was supposed to be supportive, and then the little one at the bottom was supposed to be inconsequential. Is that not how it works?
No, I'll buy that. That's inconsequential. And you're saying this is supportive of that, right?
Yes.
But here's what just for be a devil's advocate here,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think of this as not trees, not
Okay.
what is this? Is this grouped? Ungrouped.
Yeah, I did make them into one shape using the shape builder.
So,
So should I redo it and make them
no, no,
separate
no. I
shapes?
just want to. All I want to do is get an idea across. You've done this fine, but you're thinking literally, and I'm trying to get you to not think literally. That's
Okay.
that is what I'm trying to get across. So I've got to figure out how to break this, make this not a tree, you know. So
But instead make it like the triangle, and the square.
yeah, like this is just a see, this is one shape, so it's hard to make this not a tree.
Okay, I mean, I kind of get what you're saying. So you're saying instead of thinking it as like what I'm trying to make it, think of it as these primitive shapes.
Yes.
So think of, instead of thinking it as the tree, think of it as triangle and a second triangle and a square.
Yes.
So then the two triangles would be the dominant and then the square would be the supporting.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you got it. And the point here is to try to not think of shapes that have meaning in themselves, not as being a tree or a sun, not have that dependence on reference points that we know in our mind. That's what I'm trying to break, or
Okay.
enlarge, or expand in terms of thinking about things. You get it?
Yes.
Okay, so oppositional expressions, day, night, simple enough. And I'm looking for simple things. And so, yay!
Okay, so this is good to go. You know, it's in the box already, so
We're gonna do it right now.
I
And
made a few changes. I followed along with you and made all the changes that you made. So I'm going to save this and then I'll upload the new version to the box.
yes, here. But I'm going to make this. One second. I got to look you up here in a big list. That'll be a fine. Oh. One second. This should go quicker than it's going. Now find oh, here. So here's your grades. You see this?
Yes.
There, you got credit. Okay.
Okay.
Now, do you want to do the other one?
Yes, the type techniques. So that's also in the box. I re-uploaded it just now.
Okay. Okay. I want to get I got a copy here that's with the type tech right here. So I got my copy out. that's not. Let's see. All right. Monogram. Yes. And here's the instructions. And outline distort type. That's an outline type, and it's been distorted by pulling the anchor points, right? Change the scale. You change the scale by going to the. This is. Oh, I'm going to show you something else here. Everybody that's not here. This is selection tool, and that's a direct selection tool, which selects one anchor point at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I was to move this, oh, that moves fine. And then I can scale that by going to the scale tool over here and scaling it like there, or going to my selection tool and scaling it by clicking on it. The thing I was going to show you was not a problem. I'm going to see if it's going to be a problem here. It's a little workaround. Here is, this is all in outline. But I want to, let's say I want to see if I can isolate this font. And I'm going to go to try one more time. Maybe I can, maybe this would be easier to get by itself. This shape, it's not even a font, it's a shape. It's isolated. All right, I'm going to save that. I don't have the example to show you how to break a group. That's what I was going to do. And it's object, group.
Yeah, group and ungroup.
Yeah, but there sometimes when you outline a type, this won't work. And I was going to show you everybody a workaround, and I'll do that hopefully at another time where it doesn't work, and then I can do the workaround. Okay. Anyway, that's that right there is object. There's group and ungroup, and you have a bunch of shapes. So I can go and highlight all of that. And with this tool, I can highlight all that, and I can go up here. Let me see. Highlight that and go up here and go object, ungroup, or is it grouped? Object, group. Now it's going to all move
Together.
as one object. Anyway, that's group and ungroup. Object, ungroup. So there was something maybe that I hadn't showed you. But anyway, moving along because we're running out of time. Type not touching. So that looks like minus 100. Here is the window. It's window type character, and then you pull that up and it's over the other screen. And this, there it is, minus 100. Yes. Minus 25. Yes. Plus 100. Yes. That's just showing how to space letters around.
Yeah, that part was really easy.
Okay, so this was always a hard part for everybody else because it was kind of confusing.
Yeah, last time we met, you had talked about the picas. So since meeting, I went and I changed and adjusted the picas so that it's the right.
All right, so here is where it is. I'm double clicking on the ruler, and there's the picas. And Devin, you need to know I'm talking to everybody, even though it's just you and I. And so now I'm going to go and I'm going to pull from a ruler. I'm going to pull up to this edge here, and I'm going to check them. So right now it's I don't have my numbers on it right. So right up here in the upper left-hand corner of the ruler is these crosshairs right here. The crosshairs. Now those crosshairs will reestablish where the 0 is to fall on your page. So I'm going to go and push this out again and grab those crosshairs and drop right there 0. And so there is, uh-oh, me try that again. 0, there's 0. So here I am on this page. I'm gonna go and take this. This is, that guide is locked. So I'm going to
Mhm.
view guides, unlock guides. And it sometimes, if I got my layer locked, then the guide will be locked. So I gotta check the layers as well. So this is 28 picas. This is 24.
Oh, okay.
Now, so that right there needs to be at 24 picas, which is here.
Mm-hmm.
And the that's 24 picas right here. This is 10-point leading, space between the line, and that's the point size. So I'm going to come over here and highlight that and go over to 9/10, but your 24 was not right. You get it?
Yes.
So you're going to
Okay.
have to go
Well,
back.
let me go.
Don't do it now. Let's go, because we're running
Okay.
out of time. Let's go and go to the down. Now you know how to do this. You know how to make a point size 9/10, right? And
Yes.
if everybody, if you don't have that font, or times when we don't have that font, replace the font, but put the label, the new font, label the new font on that. So here's 9. So all of these got to be fixed. And you know how to do it now. And we'll go down here to, and I'll go 10/14 on 28. So let's go check that. That happens to be, according to this, the box, that's 28, even though this doesn't go to the edge. That's 28. So that works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, I'm just going to go to paragraph. And that happens to be the rag, the way it rags. So that works. So, and this here is 28. So you set those on 28.
Okay.
So those are okay. And if I go and check this, oops, didn't want to do that. I want to get my cursor in there and go 10/16. 10/16, 12, no, 12. This is supposed to be 12. It's 10, so you got it wrong. 12, so you go check this, so you know how to set type. Over 16, yes, 16-point type. Now, that 16-point type is measured from baseline to baseline. That's the 16 points, so it's really 12 plus 4. And so it's real, so that's how that is works out. 12/16
Okay.
on 28 picas width. So go check your to make sure that you got your point sizes and the leading correct. Could you do that when you go back to that?
Okay.
Okay. 14-point times Roman. So these are all working out here. Garamond, that's not Garamond.
Yeah,
That's-
I didn't have Garamond, so you told me to pick.
Whatever you got, put it here. The idea here is that if you were to print this out, you'd actually have a typed specimen sheet where you could refer to and use. That was my driving idea behind it. It's not only a tutorial, it's a typed specimen sheet so you can look at it and say, oh, I want to use Garamond and this is what it looks like. Oh, I want to use, what is this, Futura? So then you make that 16-point Futura. Could you go back and correct those?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then, of course, you're supposed to be, I went and you don't have to have giddy up, but can you do this baseline shift?
Yes.
That baseline shift, by the way, everybody, is right here. That's right there. So the M is baseline shift. That's that little icon right there. Is 12 point. All right. So now I'm going to go back to this. And this is, all right, beautiful. This, everybody, the definition here on these is in your folder, and you just got to copy them over just so you know what the meanings of these parts of typography. That's the only reason for this. So you have an experience with this, and this is perfect. You don't have to have Helvetica. You just name the font. So and here we're talking about positive, negative space, and I was trying to get you to see that you got that all in one. I'm gonna take that out, and I was trying to get you to identify the positive and negative space by making this hit the borders. And so that was, so there's the A. So this here should probably be, so it divides. You see that space right there? That's
Yeah.
that space, that's a negative space. So I'll do this with the, I'll do this with the 0 here. I'm just trying to get you to be sensitive to these shapes, not as letters, but as shapes where they have positive and negative space. And you really, that's really starts to look like just a circle, not an O. And you can see that shape is just as important as this white. That was the idea of driving this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so you almost had it, but I don't think you're really sensitive to, so that's why I said that. So this should match, you can see mine where it was really obvious how they broke up these spaces. Okay. Everybody is to match these. No, don't do your own. It's really, the idea is that you're seeing this as a shape first, letters second, and I'm making these very in different steps turn from this weird mixed up type shape and making them bring in legibility. And then I'm bringing in, as the example is bringing in expressiveness to the font. So quick is as an italic and light looks, associates to quick. And this thinking is the same thing that you want to apply to making a logo. It is these words put together make shapes, and then you do, here's like a long line, everything is expressive as I could think of, and then you do your own. So these have to match, everybody, and then you do your own expressive one, and Devin is done pretty close, but not quite, right?
Okay, so yeah, I'll make those few changes and then I'll email you when I have the final version.
Yeah, and then you got number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know which one's 6, but you see if you can match mine, because it's really, it's a kind of a sequence, and you're kind of doing it right there is doing it. It's a kind of a sequence of how to make the fonts both illegible, then legible, then expressive of the contents of the words themselves. Get it?
Okay, yes, I get that.
So you're all set?
Yes, I'm all set. Thank you, Professor.
All right, thank you for sticking by and allowing me to go over this. You're not the only one that's had problems with this. And
yeah, it's tricky, but I really want to do well in this class. So
okay, great, I'm glad, and you will do well if you want to do well, because I want you to do well, and I'm happy to support you in doing it right and doing it the best you can. That's the goal, and then you can feel good about it, and I feel good about being a helper. So there we are.
Yep. All right, that you really went through it. That answered all my questions. That was perfect. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, well, thank you. And you let me know when you have uploaded, you got the grade on the first one, and the second one, you let me know when you've uploaded that. And
okay.
Let me see where else you are. You need a monogram.
The monogram, isn't that the first page of this?
Oh, that
I
came
have
on the
the-
first page of this, and yes, let me see.
Yeah, I have the word dog and it's all
Okay,
distorted.
all right, I'm gonna give you, here, and I'm gonna show it to you. There, you see that, you got your monogram, that's that, you got a plus. Okay,
Okay, perfect.
and then the next thing is, oh, you're working on this.
Yes.
So you're gonna work on these two over the break?
Okay.
And if you get something ready to show me, send it to me and we'll have a back and forth.
All right, Professor.
Okay, we're done.
Yes.
Yay,
All right.
goodbye.
Thank you so much. Yeah, have a good one.
Everybody.
Enjoy your break.
Enjoy your break. Okay, goodbye.